All right, significant news for the 49ers coming out of the NFL's spring meeting. The owners have voted to pass another third quarterback rule. This was after it was tabled during the NFL owners meetings that I attended in Arizona just a couple months ago. So, obviously, something that the 49ers would have liked on the books last season, which would have helped them avoid injury catastrophe in Philadelphia. But it is still significant for the 49ers now because obviously they have geared up so much of their roster construction around fortifying quarterback depth. And I'll explain how this rule works, but this does incentivize them further to carry Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and Sam Darnold on the 53-man roster. So go ahead and check out the rule here. This is part of the NFL's press release. 2023 bylaw proposal 1A. Each club may also designate one emergency third quarterback from its 53-man roster, 53-player active-inactive list, who will be eligible to be activated during the game if the club's first two quarterbacks on its game day active list are not able to participate in the game due to injury or disqualification. The activation cannot be a result of a head coach's in-game decision to remove a player from the game due to performance or conduct. So it has to be injury-based. If either of the injured quarterbacks is cleared by the medical staff to return to play, the emergency third quarterback must be removed from the game and is not permitted to continue to play quarterback or any other position, but is eligible to return to the game to play quarterback if another emergency third quarterback situation arises. So here we go. This is the best part of it. I'm trying to zoom in and show you the bottom line. I'm gonna have to remove this from the bottom of the screen really quickly. This is the part that probably makes the 49ers smile a little bit. Look at the very end. Submitted by the competition committee, effect permits each club to designate an emergency quarterback who can be activated from its inactive list if the two quarterbacks on the club's active list are injured or disqualified, unable to participate in the game. The reason for this rule is integrity of the game. For a 49ers team that's been salty, yes, they've been salty about what happened in Philadelphia, saying that it wasn't really fair that they ran out of quarterbacks. Well, the NFL agrees with them. The NFL says, yeah, the integrity of the game in Philadelphia was compromised. The 49ers never had a fair shot to win. So the NFL has made a rules change so that a third quarterback can be at the waiting without counting against the roster. Now, could the 49ers have carried a third guy last year? Yes. And there has been some criticism directed at them that they did not, that they should have been ready for the possibility of Brock Purdy getting hurt and I guess Josh Johnson getting hurt too. But the reality of the situation is that none of the NFL was doing that. The NFL was activating only two quarterbacks on game day. The NFL was just rolling the dice saying, I hope we never have to get to that third quarterback because we don't want to compromise the rest of the roster. Well, now that dilemma is out the window. That dilemma doesn't exist anymore because you can now have that third emergency quarterback active, dressed, ready to go, and he doesn't count against the 46-man roster on game days. So what happens here with the NFL bringing back the third quarterback rule is that the 49ers are more incentivized now to carry all three of their top quarterbacks on the 53-man. That's Brock Purdy, that's Sam Darnold, and that is Trey Lance. Why? Because there's less dead weight involved on game days if one of those three is the emergency third quarterback. You have to have him on the 53-man to be the emergency guy. But there's less dead weight involved because he doesn't count against the 46. So whoever your 46th player that you want up, last year could have been Drake Jackson. I don't know. He was inactive, right, for a couple of weeks there at the end of the season. But whoever makes sense on that given week, that guy can still be up because the third QB is not counting against that 46-man limit. It adds more roster flexibility, and it also incentivizes the team to carry all three on the 53-man because you need that QB to be on the 53-man for him to be the emergency third quarterback. But we already knew through the contractual situations of Lance, of Purdy, and of Darnold that the 49ers were likely to carry all three on the 53-man. Now it just makes a whole lot more sense for them to do that with this third quarterback rule. Now, interestingly, this rule This is the second time the NFL has had a third quarterback rule. Both times it has been implemented in reaction to a game in which the opposing team at Philadelphia ran out of healthy quarterbacks and had to play a running back at QB. In 1991, in the body bag game, that's what it's called. That's Buddy Ryan was the coach of Philly back then. Washington went into Philadelphia, lost both of its quarterbacks due to injury. Washington lost so many players due to injury in that game. It was after Buddy Ryan and the Eagles had boasted before the game that it was going to be a body bag game. And as players from Washington kept on getting hurt, the Eagles would taunt them saying, do you need more body bags? Well, they lost both quarterbacks. Washington had to play their running back, Brian Mitchell, at QB in the second half. They obviously lost, and the league implemented the third QB rule the following offseason. It lasted all the way until 2011, until the new CBA. So it lasted for 2 decades. The past decade has seen the NFL go without the third quarterback rule, and really there hasn't been a situation yet in which it became critical, in which the NFL said, oh boy, I wish we had the third quarterback rule again. Kyle Shanahan has said, but we were, really nervous that at some point it would become an issue. And unfortunately for Shanahan and the 49ers, it became an issue on the biggest stage at the NFC Championship game last season. So in reaction to that, which also happened in Philadelphia, just like the body bag game in 1991, in reaction to the Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson injuries, the NFL has brought back the third quarterback rule, and now the 49ers are more incentivized to carry Darnold, to carry Lance, and to carry Brock Purdy on the 53-man roster. So good news for the 49ers. Hopefully they don't have to break this emergency glass. Hopefully this is something that is in the past. You never like to see guys getting hurt. But the 49ers have made a numbers-oriented approach at the quarterback position, and the numbers-oriented approach at the quarterback position benefits from this rule because you can have that extra quarterback, and he's not going to count against the game day 46-man roster. Big news for the 49ers. We'll talk to you all very soon. Take care.